And if you all wouldn't mind just going ahead and muting, so we don't interrupt Bill with any background noise. I'll go ahead and apologize for my dog barking. If UPS pulls in, there'll be some of that going on. But let me go ahead, Bill. I will let's see, change host. There, I changed it.
Okay.
Thank you all for attending. We've got a little bit it's a little bit light attendance. We had some pretty good people express a pretty good amount of people express interest in the recording, Bill. I hope you don't mind if we record it and
Of course.
post the replay. So welcome to our webinar. We're talking about what to look for in a RON platform. This is usually my office hours. I usually have office hours at Friday at noon. So anytime you guys have any questions, come back next week or the week and we'll talk shop and try to get your questions answered. But a lot of people in the Facebook group and just notaries in general, when I'm mentoring them, they always express interest in online notarization. And I think we all kind of know that it's it's the next great thing. It's coming. It's even legal in Kentucky. We didn't do too bad in 2020. Kentucky approved Ron. That was, I think we were about the 20th, about midway. So we're not last to adapt the technology here. There's over 33 approved platforms in the U.S. I think if you'll go on our Secretary of State's site, I believe there's at least 29 of them listed on there. So what Bill's going to talk about today is what to look for in Ron platform. Yes, he's the Vice President of Business Development at Secured Signing. He's been doing this for a few years with them, but he's not here to make a hard sell, or this is really not even a sales pitch today. This is informational. Yeah, he's going to tout his product because it's worth touting because they've kind of done their homework in this industry, and that's why I've signed up with them. I feel like they're reliable, and once you hear what Bill has to say, I think you'll realize there's a lot more to choosing a platform than meets the eye. So, Bill, I'll shut up and let's go ahead and dive in. The floor is all yours, sir. Thank
All
you
right.
for your
Thank you,
time.
sir. Thank you. Can you see my screen? I just want to hear me. I just wanted to confirm.
I can see you, but not your screen.
Okay, let me go back to the application here and share the screen.
And any of y'all don't know me, my name's John. Might not know me. Most of you do. I'm a an attorney, mobile notary, loan signing agent, online notary. Run the KentuckyNotaries.com website, and we've got the Facebook group there as well. I'm a minister of that. There we go, Bill.
All right. Okay, so now can you see my
Yes,
screen?
sir. Looking
Okay,
good.
great. Okay, and as John said, the purpose of this is educational. I've been in the notary signing business since 1997. That's a few weeks. I had one of the largest signing services, nationwide document service in the US, and I sold that to CBC companies out of Columbus, Ohio. I'm the architect on actually 3 other platforms. Did my first run in July of 2013, which, wow, 12 years ago. I'm also on the board of MISMO, which is the Mortgage Industry Standard Maintenance Organization, where I was requested to give this very same presentation to the members of the Mortgage Industry Standards Maintenance Organization, which is the tech arm of the Mortgage Bankers Association. Also, many secretaries of states have asked me to do the same thing. The last one, I think, was the state of Maryland, where if you go to the Secretary of State's website, you'll see this presentation. So I've tried to make this agnostic as possible. Early on in the journey, at what we call the bleeding edge in the in 2013, we found that the big problem was you don't know what you don't know, and notaries and enterprises don't know the questions to ask. So they can be led down some merry path because it's brand new. So what we decided is we need to provide them an educational format and tool to make an informed decision. So I reached out to the NNA, which I've been a consultant to for a number of years, and the American Society of Notaries, and we created this matrix, which I'll share with all of you at the end of the presentation, on what to look for in a platform to be compliant, to protect yourself, to protect your client, to protect your business, so that when you go to interview various platforms, again, there's 33 out there. Honestly, I believe there's about 5 or 6 that I would seriously look at, that you're covered. So let's get right into it. And this isn't going to be a demonstration. At the end of the presentation, uh, there'll be a link to where you can join our Wednesday demos, which are live, or ask for last week's recording. So whatever you need. So the underlying concern here is it's important that you select a secure, compliant platform, because ultimately you are responsible for that execution, for that election. So if something occurs, you want to make sure you're using a platform that has independent third-party assessments as to their security and compliance. And that's critical, because if you have a problem, as we know, particularly in the signing industry, it's never a problem until it's a problem, then it's a big problem. So you want to make sure that you can defend yourself with regards to operating in a best practice compliant environment. That's very critical. And hopefully today will assist you in those efforts to determine that. Okay, and we want to make this as interactive as possible. So I'll pause, John, a number of times if anyone wants any questions. Or John, I don't know if you're monitoring the chat function.
Yes, sir. Sure
Okay,
will.
great. You can enter those in the chat. But
Okay.
I'll be sending everyone this compliance features matrix where you can compare vendors.
I've posted
Oh,
that
oh,
and
great.
the a copy of your slide deck in our Facebook group. So if anybody's in the Facebook group, they'll have access to it. But we'll get it to them afterwards as
Great.
well, because I don't think I have a good link to put up in chat. But we'll get them to
Okay.
you one way or another, guys.
All right. Again, obviously the platform should be compliant with UITA and e-sign requirements for electronically signing documents. And well, how do you know they are? How do you determine that? Well, there's a number of third-party independent security agency like the International Standards Organization, Society of Certified Public Accountants, the medical industry, MISMO, which is the mortgage-related technical arm, that review platforms and give them a certificate that they not only are compliant, but they exhibit both best practice and security issues. And where that's important to you, again, is if something occurs, you can prove that you are operating in a compliant best practice environment. And we have all these, we have all these certifications, plus intrusion testings, penetration testings, that are available to you should you need them. Your platform should provide multi-pin or multi-factor authentication. In many verticals, that's a requirement, meaning not just a PIN and password, but a PIN and password, and then a text or an authenticator message is sent to your cell phone to gain access to that platform. Is your journal under your exclusive control? I mean, you're the only one that can access that. Will the platform store your journal? Will the platform store your journal even if you no longer have a subscription? Do you have the ability to download your journal yourself as well? Because all states require both journal storage as well as journal storage backup. So we can store it and you can obviously download it yourself. And does the journal display all the required elements along with your journal notes? And here's an important consideration, and this will vary by jurisdiction and also by market vertical. In your recording, do you have the ability, of course, during the session, you're going to see the documents and walk the client through it. Do you have the ability to not display the actual document in your journal recording? Many states actually prohibit this. So do you have the ability to not display that in your journal recordings? Because many mortgage companies necessarily don't want notaries throughout the United States to have what would amount to the most complete set of personal information about an individual stored on their computer in Loose Gravel, Michigan. So is that available for you to do? Because it could cause problems if it's not. The other issue in this, I know it sounds crazy, but does the platform disallow a signer to execute a document unless you give them specific permission and you have a simultaneous view of that transaction as it's being signed? As crazy it sounds, there are platforms out there that will allow a client, you're working with signer one, signer two can go in and sign the document, and you never see them do that. Or they log in to review the document prior to the signing, and they can sign the document. I know that sounds ludicrous, which I think it is, but it is out there. So be very cautious of that. Once the documents are executed, of course, they're going to be tamper sealed. That's a statutory requirement, disallowing any changes to be made to the executed document after it's been sealed. Also, does that document, along with its tamper sealed attributes, have an audit trail that is also tamper sealed? Now, audit trail is kind of a step-by-step acknowledgement of, did the signer agree to the use of electronic signatures? What's their IP address? What's their geolocation? Did they pass the KBA? Did they pass the IDV? Did they complete other statutory requirements based on your state? And that's like a mini audit trail. We also provide, and you should be able to access a full audit trail, but it's like 15 pages long. It's a click-by-click environment. A completion certificate is a mini audit trail. And again, that audit trail is tamper sealed, so it can't be altered. So that really provides you some support and protection. Again, will the platform store your journal even after you no longer are a notary or no longer pay for your subscription? Another key element are the signatures that your clients apply. Are they PKI digital traceable signatures, or are they what's called an electronic signature, which is just a picture of a signature? PKI applications are much more secure. And of course, our all acts offered, acknowledgments, jurat, witnesses, copy, certified copy, proof of life. So those elements that are available to you in your jurisdiction, will the platform allow you to conduct those? Will the platform allow you to upload in the middle of a session to replace a other state certificate? Let's say the documents have a Louisiana certificate and you don't want to go through all the crossouts, which you could. So you want to drop a text box saying, see a text acknowledgement, insert after that your state's acknowledgement. And in that regard, it's not a loose acknowledgement. It actually becomes integral part of the document set that's tamper sealed. So that's a nice protection for you, as well as immediately in the future. So unlike a loose leaf certificate that could be really associated with any document, this is again inserted within the doc set and is tamper sealed. Are all those types of ID evaluations, biometric, KBA, knowledge-based authentication, credential analysis, witness, credible witness, are those available? The other requirement, which is most all states, and I believe Kentucky is included in that, does the platform allow you to view that ID that was determined to be genuine, review the face of the signer that was determined to biometrically match that of the ID, and in the same frame, speak with and see the signer and ask them to hold up that ID. Okay, I see, John, that your Kentucky driver's license was continued to be genuine. Can you please hold that up to the screen, please? I want to compare it to the one that was processed through our platform. With regards to mortgage document transactions, that is a specific requirement. So you make sure that you want that. As you can see, there's a lot of things to consider, and that is why we developed this program. Excuse me. Okay, let's move on. Does the platform monitor for mistakes? If you forget to add a stamp, if you forget to add your notary signature, if your certificate is expired, will the platform flag that to help you remain in compliant? Once your document is executed, many verticals do not want you sending documents such as HIPAA in the medical environment. You can't send documents around the internet via email. So your options are to allow the client to download the document directly from our secure server, directly to their device at the end of the session, or you can send the client a email with a link in it to their email registered on the platform that they conducted from, with a link and a security code. to again allow them to download the document directly from the server. So in this case, you don't need a separate Dropbox account. You can use the platform's ability to provide access to the securely to those documents that were executed. The other consideration is here, 17, is the application of intent, which is a signature. Is that available by font selection, by upload of an actual picture of the signature, draw it on the scratch pad or screen? One moment, I've got a dog in the background. Hang on.
Happens to the best of us. Mine, if you hear somebody snoring, it's not me, it's my dog over here because he's got the life of Riley.
Sorry for that. So, John, that
No
was my
problem.
mistake, not yours.
No problem at all. Happens the best.
Okay, so in item 17, the application of intent via a signature type. The importance there is some verticals require an actual image of the client's hand-drawn signature, or they will require, let's say, John Smith, and then there's another signature application, John Smith as attorney-in-fact for Jane Smith. Can you accommodate that? The other consideration in that is we see that in wills and trust, where John Smith grantor, John Smith grantee, John Smith director of the John Smith Trust. So there's a lot of signature verifications. Can you accommodate those? So that's important. And again, on item 20, this is very, very, very important from a compliance standpoint. Can you sync all participants, they say there's 5 people in a session, to the same page for simultaneous view, and the permission that the notary grants to a specific participant to then sign the document is granted, so noted in the audit log, and then the notary observed them signing that document. So there's a blank screen, they apply their signature applies. Okay, let's go to the next one. So as crazy as that sounds, that's not always available out there. So that is probably, for my opinion, one of the #1 weak points in many platforms is the ability to observe the client sign the document once you've given them permission, denying them access to do so until you do grant them permission. So again, as you see, guys, there's a lot of stuff to consider. Okay, the next are kind of workflow requirements. So John, I'm going to pause here. Does anybody have questions about security and compliance?
Nothing in the chat right now. If anybody wants to unmute, if you've got any
Sure.
questions, now's the time. We've got the expert here with us. I've got a couple other people trying to get on, but that's not an issue here.
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I noticed that you said that once the signing is complete, that it is locked and you cannot unlock it.
Tamper-sealed, correct.
In the event that, we're all human, we all make mistakes, say, in the event that a signature or an initial or something was missed, how are you able to go back and make that correction? And I had another question and it left my mind.
Well, let me answer the first one. Maybe you remember the second one. And that really goes to item number 3, the ability to add a missing element during the middle of a live signing. Let's say you've given permission to John to sign, and as you're going through it, you say, ooh, I forgot page 7 of the deed of trust, there's initial. You can add that to it in the middle of the signing. You can add a date, a text box, a signature, an initial, your signature, your stamp. So in the middle of the signing, you can actually make remedial changes. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Okay, and another feature is in the middle of the signing. This is really kind of cool. Is let's say your escrow officer calls you, wait, there's a complete redraw, and you spend 20 minutes tagging that document. What you can do, you don't need to retag the document. You can literally remove the document out from under the tags, slide the new document in under all those tags. Now you may have to move around 1 or 2 or add or delete one, but you don't have to prep the entire document. Does that make sense?
It does. Does your platform have a built-in, I don't know the correct word, as maybe like safeguard or something where it does not allow you, like if the system identifies a blank area, that it does not allow you to proceed until you say it's okay to move forward?
Yes, that's called mandatory fields. And what that means is, let's say a couple of elements that John must elect on a certain document, checkbox this or that, or enter a cell phone number, an alternate email address. Any element that is required for the signer to enter during the engagement, you're going to mark that element as mandatory, meaning John must enter that information. So yes, that can be a required spot. And again, if you miss that during the middle of signing, you can add to it and make it mandatory for John to sign. Did that address the question? I appreciate questions. They're great.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, because again, because of our experience in the signing industry, literally I have managed over 5 million notarial executions. So that's why I have white hair. It's like the Helen Reddy song, Wisdom Born of Pain. So that, we know what you go through. So we've got to be able, our platform has got to be able to accommodate those anomalies that occur, because as you know, there is an extremely low tolerance for failure, and particularly in the financial services market. If you mess up one or two signings, not only will you upset the signer, but you quite possibly would lose the account. So you've got to be able to dynamically deal with the changes that we know occur in the market. And that's what our platform allows you to do. Okay, moving on, does the platform include remote online notarization, in-person electronic notarization, e-signatures, and e-signatures with video confirmation? And that e-signatures with video confirmation is often a tool that you can use to wean your clients away from paper-based environments. Let's say you have done a signing and there's a trailing document that was missed. Now, most title companies have some sort of e-signature product that they can send that one document up for the client to sign. On our platform, we have what's called e-signatures with video confirmation, meaning when a client clicks on the signature line, it opens up the camera. They're given what's called a liveness command. Bring your chin to your chest, your left ear to your left shoulder. And then once that's done, then the signature is applied to the document, proving who actually signed it. And that optional feature is available to you at no cost, and you can upcharge your clients for whatever price you think the market will bear on that aspect. So does the platform offer you all of that? Can the platform signers accessing the platform use a laptop, a tablet, an iPhone, an Android? And can they switch between those elements during the middle of a signing? If you have a client, let's say he's at the university, and he logs in to sign a document with you, and because he's at the university, he's behind a firewall that will prevent what's called an AV handshake. That happens. That happens more often than you would think. What do? So you're sitting there in the waiting room waiting for the client to show up. He doesn't show because he can't get in. You call him and he says, well, I'm here at the university, but I can't log on. Well, you're not going to be able to because you're behind a firewall that disallows that AV handshake. So the option is to go to an open Wi-Fi network, or they can switch immediately to their cell phone and finish the assignment. So again, these are the kind of anomalies that come up in real world environments that the platform must be able to deal with during a live event. Does the platform have an unlimited number of people that can join simultaneously? Technically, we can do 50. Honestly, the most I've ever seen is 11, not 12, is 11. It was on a board of directors meeting. Can signers log in and sign at different times? Jane in the morning, John in the afternoon. Can signers sign in, two signers, Jane and John, from the same device? Can they sign in from both, not only the same device, but the same email address? This happens quite a bit, actually. When you're in the middle of a signing with Jane and John, and Jane says, well, John can't make it. Can you reschedule him for later today or tomorrow? Sure. Will the platform accommodate that anomaly? With regards to preparing a document, does the platform have the ability to automatically read the documents if they have access to the native document and tag it for you? Now, this is a feature that we work with notaries and their clients to invoke. So what occurs is the document is sent to the platform and it automatically tags everything. You don't have to tag a single element. But that requires us to work with your customer to read their native document, their HTML tags, to be able to accomplish that. An often used feature is the ability on the fly or signer by signer to allow an invite and all invitational pop-ups, instructional pop-ups appear in Spanish. So signer one could be English, signer two could be Spanish. Can the signer upload a stipulation like a well report, a well clearance report, an easement during the middle of the session so that you can then forward it to your client? Do you have the ability to have multiple notaries under your one account? What this accomplishes is it reduces the financial burden on you as the only notary. You can spread that across your various notaries and still have, of course, separate journals, separate logins. It's a very popular feature, particularly in those environments where you have a request. Let's say a person requests a transaction that in Kentucky, you're not allowed to do that. But in Florida, you are. You could partner with a Florida notary so you don't have to turn down appointments. As we all know, your clients love it when you accept everything they throw at you. So if you can't do that, can you assign it to your Florida notary, let's say, who could do ID verification of a foreign national living in China that wants to buy property? And we can still ID them because we can accept over 5,000 government issued picture IDs from over 200 countries. We've been in business 15 years. We have users such as potentially yourselves in 75 countries. So we also have what's called multi-regional data centers, and this is very important, meaning the UI, UX, any storage, any activity, any uploads are all done within the US. So if you have a US citizen traveling in Europe or a Chinese non-citizen that is purchasing property here in the US, the transaction, both operationally as well as storage, is here within the US. And this is critical in some mortgage environments and government accounts. Another and this sounds crazy again, is the platform brandable? Do your clients think it's your platform? We have a number of platforms out there that require your customer, because remember, you would be our customer. Your customer is the signer. Do they require that signer to register with them? The reason for that is marketing directly to your client base. We don't do that, and I would not suggest, obviously, you utilize a platform that requires your customers to sign up with them. Does the platform allow you to brand it? Again, everything from the web page that we could provide you to the outbound emails coming under your domain, to label the platform so it's your platform, so you can protect, grow, and build your business in a confident environment. Does the platform have weekly training classes live? A help desk? Do they have a phone number? I know it sounds great. Do you have a phone number that you can call and actually get somebody? So live weekly training, help desk, phone support, as well as a library of resources and training environments. You could go to our website right now, www.securedsigning.com, and look at 20 different training tapes. Right now, without a subscription, you'll find us very transparent. And again, will the staff assist you in presentation? Again, that's going to be critical when you're talking about smart tags, tagging a document by us being able to read the HTML tags on that document in cooperation with your customer. Okay, that was a lot of stuff. John is going to make available the comparison chart to you guys. We do have, again, right here, this Notary University video link to watch the training. And I do want to ask you guys a question, and it's interesting. Is the NNA says there's about 1 billion notarial transactions that occur within the United States every year. What percentage do you think occur in the mortgage market? John,
I
you can
can't.
either
I
shout it
can't
out
answer
or
this. I know the answer because we just that's what I
right.
was going to talk about. That was one of the things I was going to ask you about. But yeah, this is eye opening, guys.
Okay, what do you think? Shout it out or put it in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and put it in the chat. What percentage do y'all think Ron transactions are related to real estate? Just put your best guess in the chat there. Let's wake everybody up here. Come on, Rachel. I know you got questions on here. You can put something in the chat. Robert, Mary, Brittany, Pansy. Brittany's still with us. You guys still with us? There we go. 97%. Okay, that's our first guess. Mary Kay says less than 5%. So we've got both ends of the spectrum here.
Okay,
But yeah, so go
well,
ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead,
the
Bill.
actual number, and you can look at this through atom.com. That's the statistical management firm for the Mortgage Bankers Association. The answer is 1.47%.
Yeah, less
That's
than
less than
less than
two.
2%. So you would have been closer, Mary Kay, with your 5%. But that's
The
okay. Yeah.
Now that begs the question, well, where in the heck are those other 98% occurring? And if you go to our website, go to Notary University, scroll down to the videos, we have a video webinar on Learn to Earn. And
Mhm.
that goes over the most common four verticals, be it construction, institutional, legal, that provide work that you guys can grab that need your services. And that's available for you right now to look at. So again, you want to round out your business. You do not want to be subject to the ebb and flow of just the mortgage industry. You know, I've been doing this a while and I've gone through three of those.
Mhm.
So in my signing service, 40% of our business was non-mortgage related. So that allows you to survive when the bottom falls out of the mortgage market.
And another thing we talked about too, Bill, is, we talk about Ron and online notarization a lot, but when you sign up with secured signing, you're actually in the e-signature business. It can be IPN, it can be an electronic signature, and then I believe you mentioned a feature that you all just added recently. It was video upon signing or video view upon signing.
Yeah, video confirmation proving who actually signed that document.
So that's not wrong, but there could be companies that when you do your marketing, don't just think around notarization. Just think, how can I help you with digital signatures and that type of thing. So kind of expand your thinking there, and you've got a lot more tools in the toolbox than just online notarization. That and the percentage of the less than 2% being real estate closings, that just kind of blows my mind. It's really eye-opening to me, Bill. What all's out there, and that it doesn't all have to be tied to real estate. You can
Right.
get into the healthcare field or um, construction, any type of thing, whatever, wherever you can find a good niche for that. And we call them honey holes in
Right.
Kentucky, right? So that's what we're looking for. I do have a couple questions here.
Okay.
I believe Rachel posted one on apostilles.
Right.
Does this mean this platform be used for apostille work? Will additional languages be added in the future?
Yes, apostille work. Actually, I am making a presentation. I believe it's on the 12th of this month to the members of the Lawrence Institute, Judy Lawrence for the apostille
Okay.
queen. And there are, as I recall, there's 11 states that allow for submission of an apostille electronically. So
Yay.
that really ties into the ability for you do a RON transaction and then submit that electronic document directly to the receiving entity. So again, if any of you are familiar with the Lawrence Institute for Apostille Training, I'm making a presentation. Again, I believe it's on the 12th to all their members. And of all the platforms out there, Judy said, well, I want your platform. I'm going to present that to my members. So Judy's putting her reputation on the line
Mhm.
based on our platform. So yes. So the question apostilles was answered. And the other question again was
Adding additional languages.
uh, French. We have Spanish. Our next language is Spanish, French. We do have a fair amount of utilization in Canada, so that's was the language probably in the next, honestly, probably next 90 days.
Okay.
Now, another feature that we're adding that will be, so you guys are the first to know, in the next 30 days is a deep fake test, so that the platform will allow you both at the initial connect to determine if there's retinal blood flow in the eyes of the prospective signers and other things. And then it's run again in the middle of the signing. So you can promote to your title agency, hey, deep fake's a big issue now. I'm using a platform that has a deep fake test.
This is the
So
world we live in.
yes, the world we live in. And the other issue for weaning your clients away from paper-based environments is IPEN, in-person electronic notarization. So if you have clients that are giving you paper-based assignments where you print them out, print a copy, take this 1.5-inch stack of papers out to somebody's house or meet them at Starbucks, you can all do that on your laptop or your tablet. And the benefit for your signing for your client, and we have white label brochures that you can send around to your clients on the features of this, is the documents are returned immediately. There's no fax backs, there's no trip to FedEx, the documents are tamper sealed. Each document received by the receiving entity is considered an original, and it's dead cheap. It is literally less expensive to do a IPEN transaction on our platform than it is to print the documents. So it's a great revenue generator. And again, it's a way of weaning your clients away from paper-based environments. You could start with e-signatures with video confirmation, going from there to IPEN, and from IPEN to RON. So it's a way of migrating your market into the e-sign RON environment.
Makes sense. Thank you, Bill. And then we've got another question on military IDs. A lot of times when we're signed a loan transaction, the instructions will say, you know, hey, don't take pictures of the military ID. What happens if, how does the platform handle military IDs?
Right, exactly. That's a common question. Is if the service member obviously must have their ID validated. So the ID goes through the transaction process. You can look at the ID during the session, and then when the session's over, it's deleted.
Okay.
So it allows you to comply with both the MISMO and other requirements to review the ID that was considered to be genuine, but then not store it.
Okay. And does anybody else have any other questions? Now's the time, guys. We've got the expert here, and this is the whole point of having this webinar, is he's provided all this great information, but a lot of times it's hard to get your questions answered. So Bill's here, and let's take advantage of this. One thing, Bill, again, I'm going to brag on our state again because if there's only 11 apostille states and we're one of them, that's pretty good, right? I mean, that's technology benefiting, and I've used that process. It's slick as a ribbon. I mean, it works well. It's not hard to figure out. You submit your document and you get an email back, and a few minutes later it's done.
Yeah,
It's really neat way, a really neat process. So I'm glad that Kentucky and our Secretary of State's office has seen that that's the way it needs to go. It's good for them to take that stuff into account.
exactly. And one of the values and motivating factors behind that is that when you submit a document that's been executed electronically, it's considered an original,
Hmm.
and it's original traceable, as opposed to a copy that's mailed off to the Secretary of State's Apostille Division. That's a
Right.
copy of what was executed. These are actually original documents that are traceable, that can include an audit trail. So it's a much more secure method of submission.
And we've got a question on just basically what is an apostille. So we're dealing with international, we're dealing with documents that are going to be used in a foreign country is basically what that means. Um, Before it can go out and be accepted in another country, you basically have to be recognized as duly commissioned notary is probably the best way to put it. That's what the either your county clerk or your Secretary of State is going to sign off on that, and then once it's kind of like a just an extra step added to the process that says, hey, this document is official and it's okay for use for international use. Is that about right, Bill?
Yeah, again, essentially the elements are, is this person a notary in good standing, and is the act they perform permitted under our jurisdiction?
There you go.
So then it's promulgated by the Hague Convention,
Whether you
and
belong.
there's like 167 countries that are a member of the Hague Convention, and it's a great profit center. There's no limit to
Mhm.
what you can charge. I have no, matter of fact, I have a copy on my computer of an invoice one of our clients submitted to me as an example. She had three documents, three apostilles, notarization. She charged $550. Her
Mhm.
hard cost was $67.
Right.
So it's a great profit center. It really
Mhm.
is. So there's a lot you can do with electronic notarization by adding other elements such as apostilles to increase your revenue.
It's a great opportunity for bilingual notaries as well. If you've got a second language, a lot of times that's what you're dealing with is sometimes there's some language issues involved, but yeah, if you're bilingual notary, apostille authentication, if they're not a member of the Hague Convention, you're authenticating a document, but that's basically what's going on. So hopefully that answers your question. One other thing I want to circle back to as well, Bill, as you mentioned, having a contacts in different states. You mentioned the Florida notary. If anybody needs help with that, let me know. I've got a really good contact in Florida, Christine Pardo. I'll go ahead and drop her name, but she's very connected to the real estate industry and probably has three or four different platforms that she uses. I'm not sure if she's on secured signing or not, but she's really good help. Very knowledgeable person, so I can put you in touch with her if anybody needs help with something like that.
Yeah, that's a great feature for, again, accepting work that jurisdictionally you can't perform, but also letting your customer know that you can handle whatever they throw at you.
Mhm.
So that's, that's important for capturing and retaining business because, as you know, many institutions don't like to use multiple people. If they got a person they can rely on, you're going to get that work constantly.
Right. All right.
The one other thing, John, with
Hmm.
regards to language, is on our branding package, you have the ability to create an unlimited number of custom email invitations. So you could have an email invite in Spanish, in French, in Farsi, in Portuguese. You have the ability to create an unlimited number of instructional emails that go out with your invite to the client. So if your client is fluent in Portuguese or French, uh, or Farsi, you can create that and then tell the client what to expect in their native language.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's great. All right. Are there any other questions? Anybody have anything else in the chat there? If you want to unmute, you're more than welcome to unmute. Ask Bill if you want to. We're approaching an hour. We're coming up on 50 minutes, so that's about right as far as the time is concerned. And Bill and I both will be available after the webinar. If you have any questions past, that you don't think of right now and they pop up later today or next week or something, reach out to either one of us. There's Bill's contact information there. He's got his email on the screen right there, bill.gimbel@securedsigning.com. And you all know how to reach me. Um, so yeah, Bill, I really do appreciate your time and know you've got got any plans this weekend? You got anything going on?
We've got some company coming into town now that the weather's below 100 degrees here in Arizona. So now all of a sudden we've got more friends than we did have in August.
There you go.
So
That's
we've got
good.
some family coming over. So we're gonna go to a couple of unique places that are Arizona centric. Walk around, look at the cactuses, and show those features that are unique to the state of Arizona.
Awesome. We're just happy to have some rain here in Kentucky. We
Yeah.
finally got some rain this week, and everybody's glad to see that because our yards are brown. Everything's dried up around here, but so good deal, Bill. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time and your expertise today. I realize we didn't have as big a turnout as I wanted to, but we've got some good questions, and the people who are here are really interested in what's
Great.
going on with Ron. And then as you know, it's Friday at noon, and I understand people, you know, maybe they work for a living or something like that. You know, it's crazy. That people have set hours and things like that. Some of us know about that, some of us don't. But yeah, that's it's the recording will be made available. So if you watch the recording and you have questions after that, don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us. I think you know that I'm here pretty much any time of the day or night. You let me know it's urgent. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And we're just here to help. And Bill, like I said, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
And I don't think there's anything else. Don't forget about the I will post that Learn to Earn video as well. I'll find a link for that and get that up in our Facebook group. Y'all take a look at that because it's really eye-opening. It's not just Ron. You know, you would have an e-signature business, and it's not just real estate. You got to expand your
Yeah.
horizons and think a little bit outside of the box there, because there's a blue million signatures that get notarized every day, and it's just a matter of doing the marketing and putting in the grunt work to find out where
Yeah, absolutely. As
where
an
your
example,
transactions are.
we had one of our notaries. If during rush week or during registration week at a university, a student applies for financial aid, they've got to go in the financial aid office, fill out a form, and have the financial aid officer sign it. Now there's a line out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they leave or don't have it signed, they can have it signed and notarized. So we had a notary put a pop-up outside registration. She made a couple $1,000s that day
There you
by
go.
signing the financial aid office requests for a financial aid document. So, you know, it's things like that that you're maybe not aware of. And in that Learn to Earn, there's a list of the universities with their contact information. And it's a great way, you know, you can go in, you know, 4 times a year and pick up a couple $1,000s by setting up a pop-up and notarizing documents for students.
There you go. That's awesome. Little ideas like that, guys. Those are golden. So that's what we're here for today. And like I said, Bill, we'll let you get back to it. Let you get on with the weekend. And thank you guys for attending, and thank you, Bill, for being here. Really
Absolutely
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
All right, y'all have a good weekend.
Take care.
Take care.